Folks, Ontario MPPs are spending like drunken sailors. We are crisscrossing the GTA today to get answers. David Menzies for Rebel News here in North Toronto. And folks, I'm standing outside the constituency office for Stan Cho. He is the MPP for the Willowdale riding, which is exactly 12 kilometers away from Queen's Park. And that stat is significant because Mr. Cho was one of the MPPs, you see, who was racking up several thousands of dollars in luxury downtown Toronto hotel stays. In Mr. Cho's case, $16,000, actually more than $16,000. But why? As I mentioned, just 12 clicks away from the legislature. And it's accessible, believe it or not, by the subway, just a handful of stops away. How could Mr. Cho possibly justify those hotel stays? And it wasn't just that. He spent $13,000 in entertainment, whatever that means, more than $6,000 in airfare, almost $100,000 in food and beverage from 2023 to 2026. By the way, before I go on, we've brought our big, beautiful billboard truck here, and the message is paythemoneyback.com. That's paythemoneyback.com. If you think Mr. Cho and his colleagues are fleecing the taxpayers as we do, then please sign the petition, and our truck incurs some expenses. If you're able to make a donation, kindly do so. Now, there was predictably much blowback from the ever-beleaguered Ontario taxpayer, and that meant Doug Ford went on the warpath. For starters, Mr. Cho is no longer a cabinet minister, but he's still part of caucus. He's still getting his paycheck. And Ford called out a total of 16 Toronto area progressive conservative MPPs who have dipped into the so-called special circumstances allowance in recent years to the tune of almost $110,000. And by the way, some of those hotel stays, they were more than $1,000 a night. Folks, when was the last time, if ever, you stayed in a hotel where the bill was $1,000 a night? Is absolutely outrageous. In any event, we don't think it's enough that these MPPs need to pay back this money. We think they should do the right thing, and that's resign. Now, of course, there's two sides to every story, isn't there? Maybe Mr. Cho had a great reason for spending all that money on hotel stays, over $6,000 in airfare, thousands in food and beverage, $13,000 in entertainment, whatever that means. So let's get his side. This is, as I said, his constituency office. I have a bad feeling. I don't think anyone is there, or at the very least they saw us and they're not going to answer the door. That's the new way of doing business. When it comes to constituents, it's not to be accessible to them. It is just to consider the constituency office like a fortress and not be accountable for anything. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mr. Cho or one of his staffers is there. Let's go ring the doorbell and see what we find. Well, folks, there is a notice in the window, and I'll read it to you verbatim. Quote, our office is open to service you by phone, email, or walk-in from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. However, it is best to make an appointment for in-person visits, as our staff are often in meetings or assisting other constituents. If no one answers the door, it is because they are engaged, and there's a phone number and an email address and the de rigueur ending of "Thank you for your understanding," end quote. Why don't we just see if anyone's minding the fort? The other problem, folks, you cannot see through this glass. It is heavily tinted. The blinds on the windows are down, So quite frankly, it is impossible to tell if someone is there. I'll try ringing the bell again and also knocking. Hope I almost creamed a ladybug there. That's one of the good bugs. I think everybody loves ladybugs as opposed to some of the bugs in government, right? Nope, I've been proven right yet again. Like I said, folks, this is an ongoing trend with constituency offices that once upon a time they were accessible to constituents. Now they are completely, well, I think it's an insult to the voters. I think it's an insult to the constituents not to make yourself available. Why even have an office if you're not going to be accountable? But you know what? I will make a phone call. Let's see if anyone answers the phone. What do you want to bet? It'll go right to voicemail.
Thank you for calling the office of Stan Cho, Member of Provincial Parliament for Willowdale. In order to assist you better, please select from the following options so we can direct your call. For questions or assistance with a provincial program or service, including ODSP, Ontario Works, driver's licenses, and OSAP, please press 1. If you would like to schedule a meeting with the MPP or to invite him to attend an event, please press 2. Thank you for calling the office of Stan Cho, Member of Provincial Parliament for Willowdale. Our Willowdale office is currently open, but all of our team members are busy serving other constituents. To schedule a meeting with MPP Cho or to invite him to an event, please email stan.cho@pc.ola.org and a member of our team will be in touch. Thanks and have a great day.
So there you go. It doesn't look like there's an opportunity to even leave a voicemail. What's remarkable is what the Doug Ford PCs promise and what they deliver. Doug Ford, once upon a time, ran on the slogan, respect for taxpayers. Are you feeling all that respected right now with this kind of spending that would make a drunken sailor blush? And then one of his later campaign slogans was, for the people. Do you think his MPPs are for the people when they don't answer calls, don't return emails, won't even answer the door? What a disgrace. But that is the way they roll, folks. So why don't we find out what the people have to say? Oh, by the way, we're going to pay a visit to a couple of other MPP offices. I have zero hope we're going to have even a staffer address our questions. But in the meantime, since we're in the neighborhood, why don't we go down to Mel Lastman Square? That is in the constituency of Willowdale. Let's see what Stan Cho's constituents have to say to us in terms of this outrageous spending spree. We're just asking people about the local MPP for this riding. He racked up thousands and thousands of dollars in Toronto luxury hotel stays, even though his office is just 12 kilometers away from the legislature. What's your opinion of that, man?
Well, I don't know it to be fact. I would like to assume. I would be concerned. I think it's not the best use of our money, that's for sure.
Who's he? I don't even know who he is.
Oh, he's an MPP, but he spent, for example, over $13,000 on luxury hotel stays, even though his constituency office is a handful of subway stops away.
I don't know what to say. I don't know anything.
I don't know enough about it.
Oh,
I don't wanna
okay.
give about it.
Do you know the story, sir?
no idea.
What I would say is it doesn't surprise me. Politicians, anybody, why'd they get into this business? Not to help people. I mean, they're getting in there because, like, once you're an MP, you got a pension for life.
Well, I don't know if that's true. If that's true, I think he should pay back.
You should pay it back.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I'm being evicted right now.
Oh no, really?
He's renting hotels.
I don't know too much about this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, but I think I've watched your channel, your videos before.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I
then.
know nothing about him.
Oh, I see. He's the MPP for this riding of Willowdale.
Really?
Do you live here, sir?
Yeah, I live on Willowdale and Gummer.
Oh, okay then. So he's your MPP, I would say.
I have no idea.
I think it was quite outrageous. I mean, in the event of an emergency where he can't get home,
Yes.
that's one thing. But he did it repeatedly,
Yes.
and he doesn't have the excuse that he was too tired to drive himself home because he could get a government driver to take him home.
I don't really follow the politicians anymore.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Okay then.
So much.
You know, sir, there's a saying, those who do not follow politics are destined to be governed by those who do.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get there, but it's just the way I'm thinking. I think it's better not to follow them.
Should Doug Ford pay back the $200,000 that Ontario taxpayers are on the hook for when his private jet plane purchase fell through?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay then.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay
Absolutely.
then.
I think morally he should give the money back.
Yeah, he should pay it back.
Should he resign?
I have no idea if he should resign if he pays the money back.
He should resign and pay back.
I don't see it necessary for him to resign. I'd say that's up to him and to Premier Ford.
Well, there you go, folks. And I have to tell you, the two most frequent answers we received to our Stan Cho questions were, I don't know anything about it, which kind of disturbs me because this has been front page news. And secondly, I don't speak English. Yep, and we are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, but never mind. In any event, we're now going to head off to Markham, Ontario. We're going to visit Paul Calandra's office, see what he has to say about his expenditures, and then it's off to beautiful Brampton to speak with Hardeep Grewal. He is the biggest spending MPP of all. Let's see if we have better luck with those two MPPs than we did with Mr. Cho. Well, folks, here we are in Markham, Ontario. I'm outside the constituency office for Paul Calandra. Paul Calandra is also the education minister, I should remark. Well, he somehow spent $5,700 on luxury Toronto hotel stays, and Markham is part of the GTA, so it's kind of inexplicable. He also managed to spend $23,000 on a barbecue. That's a lot of hot dogs, if you ask me. And by the way, this is not Mr. Calandra's first expense scandal, but I guess some people, well, I guess they don't learn the first time around. It's kind of funny too. The Premier asked, or demanded, I should say, that Stan Cho step down from his cabinet position, but as far as I know, Mr. Calandra is still the Minister of Education. I wonder why that is. Well, what better reason than to have a personal visit to the constituency office and try to get some answers. How did he end up spending all this money, and how is he hanging on to his cabinet position? Let's see what Mr. Calandra or one of his staffers have to say, assuming, and this is a big assumption, that there's somebody actually in this office. I'm betting no, but let's give it a try. Unfortunately, I was right. It doesn't seem that anyone is home. Much like Mr. Cho's office, glass that you cannot see through unless the name of the reporter was Clark Kent. Unlike Mr. Cho's office, not a notice posted regarding phone numbers and emails. I guess Mr. Calandra, he just doesn't want to deal with the little people nor independent journalists asking pesky questions. Well, folks, the irony is both perverse and profound. A market right next door to Paul Calandra's constituency office. Look at this sign. This Friday, Adult Slime Workshop. Yeah, I wonder what the slime factor is. How to rip off the Ontario taxpayer. That's pretty slimy. Hey, for all we know, maybe Mr. Calandra is the instructor. Well, folks, it is now time to move on. We are still on the lookout for those PC MPPs that are spending outrageously. And now it is that we are off to beautiful Brampton, where we are hoping to encounter Hardeep Grewal, who is the biggest spender of them all. Let's see what we can find out. When it comes to big spenders, Hardeep Grewal has no rival. He racked up about $20,000 in luxury Toronto expenditures, even though his riding, Brampton East, is just about 40 odd kilometers away from Queen's Park. And by the way, when I talk about these hotel stays for these MPPs being luxury, some of them were $1,000 plus per night. Have you ever stayed in a hotel that was over $1,000 per night? Well, that's way out of my snack bracket, I'll tell you. In any event, since we're here, we're going to go into the office tower, go up to his riding office, and see if either the MPP himself or his staffers can explain these expenditures. This has never been mentioned in any of the media coverage. And if he plans to do the right thing, which I think is not only paying back the Ontario Treasury, but offering his letter of resignation. I'm telling you, I'm not that hopeful he will be there or anybody will be there. Such is the landscape these days when it comes to elected officials and their constituents. You're incredibly valuable on election day. Afterwards, not so much. Anyways, let's go give it the old college try. Well, folks, here is Mr. Grewal's office. There is a sign on the door. Office hours Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. It's about 2:45 right now. And, well, look at this. By appointment only, please call the following number or email Mr. Grewal. Well, you know what? Why don't we just see if anyone's home? I know that's very rude to drop by unannounced, but the fact of the matter is, if we do phone or send an email, standard procedure for this particular provincial government is to ignore the independent media. So there's no sense reaching out. I'll try again. You know, I wonder how many people are entertained on a weekly basis for an appointment. What I'm getting at is this notice just here for political lip service? You know, give us a call, send us an email. You know, your call is very important to us, and therefore we'll put you on hold forever. Of course, locked door. Either nobody's here or they are choosing not to come to the door. I think the lack of accountability is absolutely disgraceful. But you know what, folks? In the department of there's plenty of blame to go around, what about Premier Doug Ford himself, who has been calling out his MPPs on their outrageous spending? And I say this because let's talk about Doug Ford's ill-fated flight of fancy, namely that personal jet that he wanted. Well, actually, he got it and then within hours sold it back to the vendor because of the public outrage. But that meant the Ontario taxpayer was on the hook for $200,000. That blows away all of his MPPs. And I wanted to look at this question. It was given to Ford late last month by a journalist about this very issue of the $200K tab for the taxpayer, thanks to Doug Ford's ill-fated flight of fancy. And check out his answer, or should I say, non-answer.
There may be Ontarians, I'm sure, Premier, that will look at the $120,000 in hotel expenses and not see a huge difference between that and the almost $200,000 you charge taxpayers for costs related to your private jet, which you've quickly sold. My question is, if you're directing your caucus members to pay back the hotel money, will you pay back the money for your private jet?
Well, again, I love your questions. Can I tell you something? When I traveled out to Utah, when I traveled to South Carolina, guess where I ate? I ate at McDonald's.
Wow, McDonald's, you say? But what about that private jet? Oh, never mind. Stop asking impolite questions. Unbelievable. And it's doubly unbelievable, I would say, because this is a premier who once upon a time ran on the electoral slogan, respect for taxpayers. Are you feeling all that respected right now? After all, folks, Doug Ford once upon a time depicted himself as the common man driving the common van, and now he's reimagined himself, it would seem, as a candidate for lifestyles of the rich and famous. You know, and Doug, I gotta ask you, are you really all that offended by your MPPs and their lavish spending primarily on luxury hotels? Or really are you upset that they got caught with their hands in the taxpayer cookie jar? Because look at how you are misspending the taxpayer fund. I think when it comes to gross misspending and ridiculous expense claiming, well, Mr. Premier, you are leading by example. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, so much for respect for taxpayers, right? I mean, whether it's MPPs racking up $1,000 a night hotel stays, or the Premier himself going on that flight of fancy to try to get a private plane and then sticking the Ontario taxpayer with the $200,000 cancellation fee. I don't feel very respected right now, do you? And if that's the case, please go to our website, paythemoneyback.com. That's paythemoneyback.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, kick in a few bucks for our truck. This kind of a caper typically means an expenditure of a couple $1,000s. We depend on you, our beloved viewers, to ensure that we can bring you the journalism you have come to depend on.